Well, good morning or good afternoon. My name is John Roderick. I'll be the moderator for today's session. If you tuned into Master Control, you're at the right spot. This is a webinar on turning quality management from an obstacle to a competitive advantage. And thanks for everybody who took the time out of your day to attend. Again, my name is John Roderick. I'm one of the region sales directors here at Master Control. I've been with the company about 5 years. And my counterpart, Nicole Thomas, who will be doing our demonstration today of the software, actually comes from industry. So she sat in your shoes at one point implementing a quality management system. So I have a few slides to go over, and then we'll kick off the demonstration here in about 5 minutes. But throughout the demonstration or any time during the presentation, if you do have a couple of questions, use that chat window at the bottom. We'll try to answer as many as we can throughout the webinar, but also we'll have a few minutes at the very end to also answer questions ahead. So keep the questions coming. We'd love to interact with you, so feel free to do so. Before we get started with the demonstration, I just had a few slides to go over, and it's crazy. We live in such a digital world. I don't know about you guys, but I wake up in the morning, I check the weather, I check in ESPN for any games that went on that I was interested in. I sometimes will check the stock market. I'll maybe look at a vacation I want to go on. We live in this connected world where information's in front of us at all times. We can request things, we can get information as fast as we want to. Yet oftentimes when we go into the workplace, we work in these industries that are highly regulated, but yet some of the processes that we have are slow, they're manual. We don't have the information in front of us, so it's very reactive. When something happens, we have to quickly react, which obviously leads to a lot of frustration when we're building out life-changing products for our customers. And what's interesting is Master Control recently did a poll, and over 50% of quality professionals want to have digitization as a high priority in their organization. But they mentioned still they're dealing with processes that are manual and paper-based. They talked about audits and inspections that may come up that are difficult to prepare for in the paper world. They talked about the inability to have insights at their fingertips to make quick decisions in our organization, which would save them a lot of time and effort, and also save them a lot of money. So it's time to modernize, right? Master Control has been around for 30 years, and our main goal is to help you get products out the door faster, life-changing products out the door a lot quicker than you do today. And we do that by shifting from a manual process to something that's connected, that's smart, that's flexible, and compliant. Having disparate systems is fine, but imagine a world where you can have your training, your document control, your quality events, all on the same platform and be able to talk to each other so you know exactly what's going on from a quality perspective in your organization. Nearly 60% in this same study that we did talk about quality as being a competitive advantage as the number one benefit. I remember about a year or so ago, I was talking to a client, and their main reason for searching for a QMS is they wanted to be GMP compliant. They wanted to have that to be able to talk to their existing clients as well as future clients and say, look, we've gone through the process to be able to make sure that we're getting product out the door faster in a compliant way. We know the quality is going to be there. So trust us as an organization to do business with. So not only do you get the benefits of the processes and workflows that you might have today in disparate systems, which obviously increases efficiency and reduces errors, but you can better utilize your human capital. Let's say you have so many people on quality that need to manage quality processes. What if you allocated those resources into more revenue generating activity for your organization, and which would obviously be a great benefit to the bottom line of your company. And then elimination of manual data inputs and exports. Really hard to get information, again, if it's on disparate systems. So you've come to the right spot. With Master Control, we have a platform with two main solutions, our quality management solution, as well as our manufacturing execution system. Today, we're going to focus on the QMS. Our QMS is a cloud-based product. So what you'll see today mostly consists of document control, training, quality events, a little bit of risk management, and also this underlying piece of insight. So having dashboards that you can look and see your training tasks and who hasn't completed them, or look at your quality events and see how many of those are outstanding or where they are in the process. Having that information at your fingertips is really nice. So this platform all sits, these two solutions sit on the same platform, which is a huge benefit. And one of the advantages of MasterControl is what we call a closed loop quality system. And let me give you an example of how this works. Let's say in your organization you had a deviation or a CAPA, something that needed to be contained. You'll obviously do a root cause investigation in your organization. And based on that risk-based analysis, you might want to open up a CAPA, open up a document or an SOP and update it. Well, you can start that process with MasterControl, push that document into the right hands in your organization for updating, editing, collaborating on that document. And then how that closed loop quality system works is once that SOP is completed, it'll kick off a training task to anybody in your organization who's affected by that document control, that document change. So you can see how this whole process with a closed loop system really is a benefit. More, requires less resources, faster training cycles, faster resolution to quality events in your organization. And not only that, with MasterControl, you have a validated tool. You have a validated solution with MasterControl. We have a tool called our Validation Excellence tool. This is actually developed with the help of former FDA directors to help organizations like yourself quickly validate your software instance of MasterControl. We help you with that initial validation, but as you make changes or do configuration changes or do updates to MasterControl, we can also help that ongoing validation, which for most customers, it takes just 45 minutes to to update and validate, whereas a lot of our competitors, it takes a lot longer than that. So with MasterControl, you'll always have that validated solution at your fingertips. I want to show you this slide because I think this is important. So G2 is a vendor that actually helps with software evaluation. It's kind of like the Yelp. Like, for example, I like to go to a restaurant, so I'll type in a restaurant at Yelp. If it's got 4 stars and 150 reviews, I'm pretty safe. I know it's going to be a good place to go eat. Well, G2 does the same thing. If you're evaluating software, you can go in there and type in quality management system. And what you'll find is with the results is MasterControl is the leader in the QMS space, not only from a performance perspective, but also as a thought leader in the industry with our QMS system. The same thing with our manufacturing execution system. So this gives you peace of mind that you're in the right spot when you evaluate MasterControl. It's trusted by many companies. We have a lot of large companies. We have over 1,100 organizations that trust MasterControl with their quality processes. You see some big names on here. We also have the FDA as one of our customers as well. Now, these are large organizations that obviously trust MasterControl with their quality processes, but we have organizations that have 10, 15, 20 employees that are just getting started. And the great thing about MasterControl is once you buy the product, it easily scales with you. You can add additional modules to really make the quality processes go well. So you can start small and grow with us, which is certainly a benefit. So instead of telling you all this, I'm the sales guy, obviously. So I want to turn the time over to Nicole, and she's going to walk through the application with you. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to use that chat window, and we'll also answer questions at the end. So let me stop sharing, and I'll pass it over to you, Nicole.
Awesome. Thanks, John. So hello, everyone. Thank you for attending the Evaluate webinar showcasing MasterControl's Quality Excellence solution. As John stated, I'm Nicole Thomas, the solutions consultant at MasterControl. And prior to coming to MasterControl, I actually was in your shoes. So I worked in the quality space for quite a few years, and I worked for FDA and ISO regulated environments, managing ISO registrations all across the US and Canada. And I was in a position of needing a good QMS system. Working off of siloed systems, paper-based systems, I felt the need that we needed a good EQMS system, and that brought me to being the business lead to help implement MasterControl and being a sysadmin and user of MasterControl for a few years. So I'm excited to show you MasterControl and how it can help you guys in your day-to-day. So today we're going to be taking a look at how MasterControl's one platform solution can provide you with a one-stop shop QMS to capture all of your quality processes. So we'll be highlighting all of the fundamentals that are part of our QX Complete solution. These include our documents and training management, our quality event management, as well as risk and audit management. So we have a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and get started. So MasterControl has a few different permission-based licenses. So we're going to start with our basic user license. So think of this as your view-only users. Maybe these are your operators or lab technicians that just need to come into your QMS and view documents pertaining to their specific job function, train against those specific procedures, as well as maybe have the need to launch a quality event, such as like a non-conformance or deviation. So that's our basic user. So upon logging in as a basic user, it'll bring them to their My MasterControl dashboard here where they can view tasks that they've been assigned. MasterControl also sends out email notifications, letting users know anytime that they receive a task. They'll also receive a reminder when tasks are due dates are approaching, as well as when things become overdue. One thing here I like to highlight too is the Explore folder. The Explore folder is a great way for organizations to better organize their documents for their end users by allowing you to create what we call organizers. So think of these as like folder structures out on a network drive or a SharePoint site. This just allows for you to organize your documents so that way in just a few simple clicks, your end users are quickly able to access the documents you've given them permission to view. So MasterControl is roles and rights based, meaning that you can control not only the applications or modules that your end users are able to access, but also what documents they're able to view as well. So if you're only wanting to give them the released version of your documents, you can do that. You don't have to worry about your operators or lab technicians working off of documents that are still in draft or documents that have become obsolete. These folder structures will automatically update too, pointing to the latest and greatest version of those documents at all times. So they can go ahead and view a document by just simply clicking on that document title there. And it'll provide them with a PDF view of this document because that's the only rights we've given our end users. The beauty of MasterControl too is that because our training module sits on the same platform as our documents module, that allows for MasterControl to perform some training checks. So if you have users that go to access a document, but the system recognizes that they have not completed training against that document yet, it'll know and it'll safeguard them from viewing that document until they've trained upon it. So if we jump back over, you'll see that we need to go ahead and complete that recording deviations training task. Viewing, the introduction around this training task, we can go ahead and view the materials here that are associated with this specific training task. And then it will allow for us to move forward to take an exam if there is an exam applied to this specific training course, where you can create just simple read and understand exams, and allowing for your users to go ahead and complete their exam against that specific training task and ultimately sign off to complete their training task. So all of that is associated on one single platform, allowing for your users to be able to quickly navigate between their documents, their training against those documents, and like I stated earlier, the ability to launch off a quality event should you give them rights to be able to do that. So we've just taken a look at our permission-based license as a basic user. So again, this is view-only users. Think of operators, lab technicians that just need to view documents, sign off on training against those documents, as well as launch off a quality event. So now that we've taken a look at our basic user license, let's go ahead and take a look at our full user license. So a full user is for users that have more managed rights into your quality management system. So think of doc control, quality managers, lab managers, people like that who will have the ability to create, revise, approve documentation, setting up training requirements, reviewing those quality events for risk, and ultimately bringing those to closure, as well as a few other things based on the roles and permissions that you give them. So it's still roles and rights based. You can control what applications they're able to view, as well as what documents they're able to access as well. So from a full user standpoint, still brings you to the same My MasterControl dashboard here, where we can access any tasks that have been assigned. we still get email notifications. And then what you see on your dashboard, again, is ultimately dependent on what permissions you've been given to view. On the left-hand side, we have our navigation panel here. So this is where we have that one platform solution giving you access to all of those different processes or modules or solutions on the same single platform with MasterControl. So like I stated, today we're going to be taking a look at our documents, training, quality events, risk, and audit. But you can see here there's quite a few other products that MasterControl offers as well. In terms of the documents module, so this is where your documents are going to be managed. You have the ability to generate workflows. We have some pre-configured workflows that you can use out of the box. But the beauty of MasterControl is that it is configurable, allowing for you to decide if you want to use our pre-configurations or make the system your own. The workflow builder allows for you to decide the path that documents might need to go on, what route do they need to go on, and who they need to go to. You have the ability to add in steps as needed. So maybe we want to add in a training review step here to allow for a training coordinator to come in and make sure that the appropriate training assignments are set up before that document is routed for approval. So you have the ability to define what those workflows look like against those specific documents, and then assign those workflows to those specific document types to allow the system to automate your document process for you. So it allows for you to, when you go to create a document or revise the document, the system will automatically know what route it needs to go on and who it needs to go to. So when it comes to creating documents, document information is going to be captured on what we call an info card. An info card is nothing more than a, think of like a library card that's going to capture all of the information around a book. Same concept here, but within MasterControl, it's capturing all of the information around your documents or records. So capturing your version information, things like your document number, where we also have a document number builder where you can build out your numbering series. So if you're happy with the numbering series that you're using on legacy documents, you want to carry that over, you can do that. Or you can use it to build out a new numbering series. Again, flexibility in terms of how you want to configure your quality management system. So info card is going to capture your documents information, version information, where that document's living. If you want to reference any specific standards that a document adheres to, you have an area for that to allow for searching and organizing against specific documents. You also have an area where if there's training assignments against a specific document, you'll have visibility into that to see, the status of training against that specific document. An area I like to highlight here is the attachments and links section, because the link section here is a very powerful tool coming from the quality world from a compliance standpoint. For the reason being, say you have an SOP with referenced work instructions within it. You can actually link those documents together within this link section here, and it's going to create a bidirectional link within MasterControl. So that way, if you go to make any revision to any one of those documents and MasterControl recognizes that there's a linked document to it, using our Smart Link feature, it will prompt you saying, hey, you're trying to make a change to this document, but it might also impact these others. Do you want to include these in your change packet? So making sure that all of those documents that are associated with a single process stay current and up to date with one another, which we know is very, very important. You also have additional information that you can capture in what we call custom fields. Think of these as like data tagging, where we can just tag additional information around our documents that we can search on, report out on, or we can also build out organizers pointing to this information. So that way, MasterControl knows where to file your documents or records away based on how you have those set up. And then the beauty of MasterControl is that it's going to capture all of your history right here in one location. So as documents go through revisions, it'll capture that information in your info card in the history tab, showing you essentially your audit trail and changes and revisions that have taken place against a document. So a document info card captures all of your documents metadata in one central location and also giving you areas to capture additional information should you need it. With MasterControl's document module, when you generate a document, you also have the ability to use our collaboration tool. The collaboration tool allows for you to access the collaboration workspace that allows for your users to work on a document within MasterControl. So no longer having to work on documents outside of the system, make changes, use wet signatures, things like that. the MasterControl now allows for you to capture all of that within one place. So within our collaboration workspace, it is file agnostic, meaning as long as you have the native file formatting program on your computer to support that file type, MasterControl can too. We do also integrate with Office 365 products, allowing for that you to go ahead and use Office products such as Word to make all of the changes that you need to. And the system also captures all of the red lines. So as changes take place, the system will also capture those as well. So giving you full traceability and visibility into all of the changes that are taking place within your quality management system. Once the collaboration has been completed, approvals take place. Those approval sign-offs is allowing for users to set the effective date and sign off. The beauty of MasterControl too is that because our training module sits on the same platform as our documents module, this allows for you to configure the system to automatically launch off training for you once the document becomes approved. In turn, it's also going to update your Explorer folder for you. So making sure that the document or that the folder structure is always pointing to the latest and greatest version of your document for you. So automatically updating those folders for you, making sure that you have access to those. So from the documents module, this is where you can generate your documents, manage your documents, review, collaborate, approve documents, and ultimately store your procedures, records, policies, any document needs within your document management system. So next up, we're going to take a look at our training module. So the training module, as I stated earlier, sits on the same platform as our documents module. The beauty of this is that it allows for you to create training courses directly tied to our document. However, you can use it kind of like an LMS where you can use it for other training needs as well. So you can generate courses for any of your training needs. And with the system being file agnostic, this allows for you to still upload, maybe it's a PowerPoint, video, image, even pointing to a website that you want users to view content from. It allows for all of that. Within the training module too, you also have the ability to generate exams. You don't have to use them, but we do provide you with a tool to be able to do that, that you can set up true and false, multiple choice, matching, sequential, numeric, whatever the question types may be, generate exams to train on competency against the courses that you've assigned. We also have an exam generator tool that allows for you to use our in-house AI tool and take a course or a procedure rather and say, I want 5 questions generated. It will automatically generate multiple choice questions and responses for you. So that way you don't have to. So really neat tool there. When it comes to training, you can assign training directly to your trainees, or you can assign it to job codes. So think of like a competency matrix, or I'm sorry, a training matrix, where you can determine the different course curriculums that need to be assigned for specific user groups. So you can build out a course curriculum saying all of the courses that need to be assigned to those specific groups there. Users can live in more than one job code to allow for cross-training purposes or all company training. When training gets assigned, users go and complete their training task, but then what does it look like in terms of how do we report out on training? So we can view that from a few different ways to view the status of training. We can look at job code status. So think of this as like a competency matrix where I can quickly pull up a job code, see who's a part of it, and quickly see the status by visual aid. You also will have an individual training folder for each of your employees, so you can quickly pull up a training record should it ever be requested, maybe during an audit, so you can quickly have access to that as well. So again, the training module allows for you to create courses tied directly to the documents module, but you can use it for other training needs as well. Maybe it's HR onboarding or safety related training. So it allows for you to have that one-stop shop to be able to use the training module for all those training needs. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at our quality events module. So AQEM is our advanced quality event management solution that allows for you to use it actually a few different ways. And that's really the cool thing about MasterControl is that you do have the flexibility to decide how you want to use it. So with AQEM, we provide some out-of-the-box recommended templates based on industry best practice where you can use our recommended templates. These come pre-configured where you can come in and get a quick idea around what that template includes, what does the workflow include, and it'll show you kind of a start to finish in a process flow diagram. You can see it's built off of single and parallel steps to allow for kind of decision points to determine what path your processes might need to go on. But what's cool about AQEM is that we have these recommended templates that you can use as is, how they come pre-configured. But with our form building solution, this allows for you to also take those templates and make modifications that you see best fit in your process too. So you're not having to 100% adopt what we've provided for you. You can make them your own, where you can add or remove steps into the specific workflow process. You also have the ability to come into each of these steps here to decide what type of information you're looking to capture within your form or your quality form here. So if there's information you want to take out, you can go and simply decide that you want to delete that field of information out. Or if there's information you want to add in, you can do that too, where I could click this plus sign and then choose what type of information I want to add, whether it's short and long text fields, providing with character counts up to 50,000 characters. Number fields, drop down, single choice, multiple choice, allowing for you to import lists here. Structured data, build a mini form in an overall process form. Date field, attachment field. Maybe as part of your process, you need to attach supporting documentation to a quality event record. Or a link. Maybe you want to link events together because they're related to one another. Or maybe as part of a nonconformance, you realize that you need to launch off a corrective action. You can use this link field to determine if additional events need to be launched off, and it'll link those together. You also have the ability to link into a document within the documents module. So say a corrective action, you realize that it occurred because you had a crucial step missing in your documented process and you need to launch off a management of change to get that document updated. You can link into that document as well. So you have the ability to use this a few different ways, decide how you want to use it, what your overall process workflow looks like, as well as what are the fields of information you're looking to capture. In addition to our recommended templates and being able to modify those, you also have a new workflow option. This allows for you to actually digitize any of your form-based processes. So maybe it's a business card request form, or maybe you want to create a form that's looking at risk and opportunities. You can use the new workflow option to generate any type of form-based process, not limited to the templates that you see here. So with quality events, those get launched off. Still, we also have a validation on demand tool. So John talked about our validation excellence tool. Because you have the ability to make changes on the fly with AQEM, we have a validation on demand tool that allows for you to validate your workflows in literally minutes down to seconds. So you will not have any disruption in your processes should you need to make changes to your quality workflows. From a end user perspective, quality event tasks go out, email notification go out as well. Users can come in and access their specific task here that they can go ahead and complete. You can see we can attach files. We can also link into events. And we can also come into the details and preview any previous steps to see what those the data inputs were there. Even request corrections. Maybe there's inadequate information and we can't complete our review until that's been corrected. We can launch that off as well. We also have a binder that's going to show us all of the attachments or links that were captured against that quality record, as well as the history tab, full audit trail into all the activity that's taken place from that quality event. So again, with AQEM, you have the ability to use our recommended templates as is, make modifications to them, or use the new workflow option to digitize any of your form-based processes or build any of those other quality events from scratch. Alrighty, so far we've taken a look at our documents and training management. We've also just finished up with our quality event management. So let's now go and take a look at risk and audit management. So with our risk module, this allows for you to determine different risk assessments that you might need to capture. You have the ability to generate the different templates based on your specific assessment needs, where you can determine what it is that you're assessing against. So these risk matrix tables can be a 2x2 up to a 5x5, where you can determine the scoring of those and what the labels are. What are you assessing against? Once you generate those templates here, you then have the ability to launch off those assessments. Risk assessments allows for you to then launch off the template that you've built, and it then gives you that form to complete. So this risk assessment here, we can come in and provide the details needed for this. We can go ahead and complete our initial risk assessment here. Based on a risk score of low, we can go ahead and capture what information we need to submit this for approval. You'll see here, if it's a medium risk score, it's going to provide justification if you're not going to perform a mitigation action. If you want to perform a mitigation action, you can go ahead and assign that out, whereas a high risk is going to automatically require mitigation. Send out those mitigation action items to be performed, come back for reassessment, ultimately bringing you to closure of your risk assessment. You also have an area for risk files. Risk files allow for you to capture all those risk assessments that might be associated with a single project, or maybe a certain supplier or product line, whatever the case may be. Risk files allows for you to capture all of those risk assessments in one central location and kind of organize those best, within the system. Okie dokie. So next here, we've got our audit management. So with our audit module, this allows for you to conduct your internal audit. You can use it to capture your external audits. You also can do supplier audits. So any of your auditing needs, the audit module allows for you to capture all of that in one place. So with your audit module, you can decide the entities. So these are going to be the different types of audits that you plan on conducting. Like I stated, maybe it's a safety audit, supplier audit, organization or personnel audit. So you determine what those entities are. Then we're going to look at compliance. So what are we auditing against, where you can determine the standards and criteria, whether those are specific regulations or sections of an ISO standard, or maybe it's just your own internal procedures that you're checking against. Those standards and criteria ultimately build out a checklist that your auditors then use to conduct their audit. When it comes to generating audit, you can come in and develop a new audit based on the entity information you've set up, where we can go ahead and select what type of audit is that we are conducting. And it'll allow for us to select the entity here, provide an audit name. And when we plan on conducting the audit. So we can go ahead and put those dates in here. Based on how you provided, the dates that you've provided, will allow for you to determine what lead auditors you can assign. So if you were to select dates that another lead auditor is already on another audit, it will tell you that that auditor is on another audit, and you'll have to select somebody else or choose a different date. So you can go ahead and determine what audits you want to assign here. And when audits get launched off, it's going to capture all of your audits in an audit schedule. But what's nice about this too is we also have a calendar view. So giving you that visual aid that's a little bit easier to see and read, and visibility into the audits taking place. So we can come in and see all of the audits that are taking place this month. So from an auditing standpoint, we can then go ahead and let me log in as an auditor. And keep in mind that we do integrate with a single sign-on. So don't think that you have to remember your usernames and passwords. We can integrate with your single sign-on, so allowing for direct connect into that. And so as an auditor, we receive an audit task. Just like every task in the system will come an email notification, as well as that task in my task list. So I can come in and access that audit here. And it's going to bring me to the audit workspace. So the audit workspace is where that auditor can come in and perform that specific audit. So we can come in and provide when we performed that specific audit, provide our summary scope, and once complete, provide that conclusion of that audit. You also have an area for documentation. So should you need to perform an audit offline, or maybe you're auditing a supplier that doesn't have great internet and you can't connect to the audit workspace, you can actually download this checklist and provide you with a checklist template that you can use offline and upload back, and the system will record those responses for you. You also have an attachments area here. So if you want to attach any supporting documentation or even link into any documents that were reviewed during your audit, you have the ability to do that and capture that in one place as well. You then have your audit checklist. So this is what your auditors are going to be using to audit against. So they can come in and look at the specific criteria you're auditing against. Or remember those references are maybe either your internal SOPs or your regulation standards or anything like that you're auditing against. They can come in and provide their responses to that specific checklist as needed. And then you'll see here that should any findings become, are non-compliant and we need to launch a finding or list an observation, we have the ability to do that with actions, where for that specific line item, we can launch a new observation, provide any summaries and details around that specific finding, and even provide an assignee to somebody that needs to provide a response to that specific finding. So again, it allows for you to capture all of your information in one central location. With the audit workspace too, you also have the ability to have the system formulate some final audit reports for you. So not only will you have draft audit reports, but you also have it allow it to build out final audit reports for you as well. So as an audit comes to conclusion, you'll have a final audit report readily available should it ever be requested during a more formal audit from a regulatory body. Okay. Alrighty. So last thing to show you all. So far, we've covered our documents and training management. We also looked at quality event management, and then we took a look at our risk and audit management. The last thing I want to show you is our Insights tool. Insights is our data and analytics tool, providing you further insights into really the health of your quality management system. John touched on this earlier, where we have various collections of information where you can gather, look at reports or dashboards based on what information it is you're looking to capture. So maybe during an audit, we need to pull up a master list of documents. We have a report that's readily available for you that you can pull up. And with each of our reports and dashboards, it also provides with filtering options too, should you need it. From a quality event standpoint, maybe we'll want to look at what total events we have open in our quality events. We have a dashboard that will show all of that information. But what's nice about it too is that we can even drill down this information. So if we're wanting to look at just our in-process CAPAs, we can click on that. And it's actually going to drill down that information across the rest of the dashboard for you. So that way you have quick and easy access into that information. From a training perspective, you also have access to different training dashboards. So if we want to quickly see the status of maybe in-process or overdue training tasks, we have a dashboard that will quickly provide you that information. So we can come in here. We can also filter out information directly from these dashboards here, providing us with that quick visual aid in terms of where things are at, where your metrics are at. You also have the ability to set up what we call pulse notifications. So if there's any metrics within your quality event or within your quality management system that you want the system to monitor for you, you just set up a quick pulse notification and this allows for you to set up a threshold in terms of when that threshold is met. You can set the alert frequency, how you want to be notified. Go ahead and set up who you want the notification to go to. Put in a quick message here so that way everyone knows why they're being alerted. And this allows for the system to monitor your metrics for you and notify you if there's any trends going on or if any thresholds have been met. So instead of you having to continuously monitor your quality events or your overdue training, set up these pulse notifications that allows the system to do the work for you. So that way you're no longer having to exhaust resources to do that manually. You also have a reports manager here. So in the event that you need to set up scheduled reports, because maybe you have supervisors that are requesting the status of training for their specific departments on a set frequency, you can go ahead and set up a scheduled report for that, apply custom filters to it if you need to, maybe pointing to a specific department, select the format in which you want it emailed to them, who all you want it to go to, and then you can set it up on a schedule to where this allows for you to determine the time frame in which how often that report is going to be sent. So maybe you know that they ask for it every single Friday. you can go ahead and set that up as a scheduled report. And again, allow the system to do the work for you, to where, MasterControl provides many ways to allow for things to be automated for you. So that way you no longer have to manually do those. So from here, our insights tool is just providing you, again, the data and analytics around the different areas within your quality management system, and really providing you with the tools to assess the overall health of your quality management system, and to be able to get notified with those pulse notifications and setting up scheduled reports on an as-needed basis. So I know we've covered a lot of information today, from a very high level, but we've taken a look at our QS complete solution. So highlighting all the fundamentals that make up our quality excellence solution. So our documents and training management, quality event management, risk and audit management, and then overall our insights tool, showing you all of the data and analytics and how you report out on all of that. So I really appreciate everybody's time today. So I'll hand it back over to John, and we'll open it up for Q&A.
Thanks, Nicole. Great job. We covered a lot of ground in that short time. So there were a few questions that I wanted to quickly bring up. Let me just, a couple of questions I thought were really good. One, how long does it take to implement MasterControl? And usually our customers start with document control, training, and quality events first as kind of a phase one. That's usually a 3 to 4 month implementation process. A couple of questions, another couple of good questions I thought were good, is this a cloud-based application? And it sure is. So we leverage Amazon Web Services as our cloud provider. So we are definitely hardware agnostic. So whether it be a cell phone, an iPad, a laptop, desktop, whatever, you can access the application and use it accordingly. Can I get a more detailed demonstration of MasterControl? You absolutely can. At the end of this, I'll show a QR code that you can scan and request an additional demonstration of the software, or you can just email us at info@mastercontrol.com. Other questions? Maybe this is for you, Nicole. Can a person complete a task if they have not been trained on it?
In terms of a training task, no, they would have to complete their training task before they would be able to view that documentation. Same thing goes for, I know today we only cover the quality excellence suite, but our manufacturing suite also allows for those training checks as well.
Perfect. And then the last question we got is, how is the system licensed? So as Nicole mentioned, we have 2 different license types. One, a basic license. Think of that as a view-only license, someone who just needs to see documents or maybe take on a training task. And then our full license are those individuals in your organization who need to edit, collaborate, and sign off on documents as well. So two different license types for that. So like I mentioned, if you do have additional questions for us, you're more than welcome to email us at info@mastercontrol.com, or I'll pull up this, if I can, pull up this QR code, and you can quickly just scan and show. Let me just quickly do this real quick.
Yeah, John, I see one more question that popped over. If users are able to view documents without training tasks. Yeah. So if there's no training task assigned to a specific document, but they have access to view those specific documents, absolutely, they can view them without having to complete a training task.
And there we have it. There's our QR code. So if you do have an additional question, feel free to scan that. We're happy to, if you're not working with an account executive for MasterControl, we're happy to get you in touch with the right person for additional demonstration. But certainly want to thank you again for your time. I know your time is precious. Hopefully this answers some questions about MasterControl and why we believe it's the best solution in the industry. You know, we know there's a lot of choices out there, but you look around and find it's be hard pressed to find a company that has 30 years of experience, that has the financial backing that MasterControl has, and is continually investing deeply into the product. Nicole mentioned some things about artificial intelligence that we're doing. We believe that will be a great differentiator for MasterControl as we continue to implement artificial intelligence in the application to help streamline some of those workflows that you have. So we're really excited about our future, and we hope to have you a part of it. So have a great rest of your day, and thanks again for joining.
Thanks, everyone.